graduated cum laude from the Northern Arizona School of Hotel and Restaurant Management in 1995. Welcome back home. Welcome to the podium, Gary.
Thank you so much. It is an absolute honor to be here today. It was interesting. I had a chance to speak to several classrooms yesterday and today. And every time I mention the Jungle Cruise, I actually get a couple different reactions. Either, what is this Jungle Cruise you speak of? Or, I've got a favorite Jungle Cruise joke. Or, and I'll comment, you know what, I do still have some of my favorites. I'll never forget the spiel no matter how hard I try. And if you have 10 minutes that you'd like to never get back, I'd be more than happy to kind of walk you through that. Certainly during my formative years. And I also commented, I needed 800 hours of experience in the hospitality industry to get my degree. All of a sudden, it's 1,200 hours now. That's what I heard yesterday. So, interest. So, good afternoon, faculty, sponsors, and fellow lumberjacks. It is quite an amazing honor to be with you here, all of you today. Walking around campus this week certainly brought back a lot of great memories. Hustling down to South Campus from Tinsley Hall on an early February morning, camping out at University Union, cramming more than once for a midterm, grabbing late-night ordered onion rings and a bottomless carafe of coffee at Perkins, and arriving to the Sky Dome for the opening kickoff. I have a lot of fond memories from my time here, and I'm incredibly thankful that I've been asked to speak to you today. When I arrived on campus as a freshman in 1991, I had my whole life planned. It was all set. I knew that I needed to achieve those 800 hours of experience before my senior year to attain my degree in hotel and restaurant management. So I was going to get a job at the front desk of one of the many hotels near Route 66. I was going to graduate, and I was going to pack my bags for Maui. What? No. I was going to be the general manager of the Maui Marriott. Laser focus. That's what that was. That's what I wanted. I had been there once as a kid and decided that it was my dream job. So right away, my first weekend here, in fact, I didn't have a car. I was an out-of-state student, grew up in the Bay Area in San Jose. So I needed to find a place I could work at that was within walking distance. I began walking door to door because I wanted to be that GM. I wanted to work at the lodging side of the business. I hit every single hotel and motel on Route 66. I was enthusiastic. I dressed the part. I put on my most charming smile and was summarily rejected at every single one of them. It belatedly occurred to me, perhaps I may not have been quite the only student who was pursuing a degree that had that same hospitality requirement. At up to 3 years head start on me, all those jobs had been taken. Not one place had an opening. A little discouraged, I turned around and walked back towards campus. Along the way, I passed the McDonald's on Bilton. Now, just like most students, I was going to college. I needed a job. If I was going to make it to Maui, I needed to have experience under my belt. So I picked the location that I thought would have the best training program, had great operational controls, and that I visited when I was 6 years old backstage during a kindergarten field trip. That was McDonald's. So I walked in. About the same time that a bus was pulling up, it had parked and started disgorging a rather hungry-looking crowd of tourists visiting the Grand Canyon. I walked up to the manager on duty. He's got one eye on me, one eye on the bus. And I said, "Hi, Gary Maggetti. I'm a Northern Arizona University student, hotel restaurant management focus. I'd really like a job." He said, "You're hired." Uniforms are downstairs. Be back in 5 minutes. I did. Ended up working 5 nights a week, full-time, in the grill, in the kitchen. There's nothing more humbling than taking a job that you might have felt was a second choice, and then not quite doing it well. Struggled right away, mostly because I started as a cook, and that was, we'll say it, was not really playing to my strengths. I eventually got promoted to the front counter and learned about customer service in an environment where busy meant long lines at every register all day long. When I say we were busy, I'm actually engaging in wild understatement. We were uber busy. So, given my clear focus on customer care, I could tell myself it was perfectly acceptable, for instance, that when filling orders, to grab napkins and ketchup packets by the handful, just to get the order out as quickly as I could manage. Of course, that meant that I was constantly dropping little ketchup packets on the floor in my haste. Enter Dave. Dave Lerma was the general manager of the restaurant, and being a former alumni of NAU and doctorate honorary from the Walt Disney College program, I thought of him as my mentor. He was also clearly a fan of his finance classes, because every time I dropped a packet, Dave would remind me that each one cost 0.2 cents. 0.2 cents. I know it doesn't sound like a lot. But Dave reminded me that everything we wasted at the store came out on the bottom line. Every napkin, every ketchup packet. And no matter how inexpensive the item was, it all added up. Over time, I got better. Then I was promoted to the drive-thru. It's a big deal, yeah. Those of you who've worked in fast food probably know there's a timer that actually keeps track of how fast you serve each car. And I was determined to serve more customers per hour than Dave could even imagine. So I began implementing some of my very own innovative techniques to improve efficiency. For example, when a guest ordered a soft drink, I would scoop the ice with the cup rather than use the metal ice scoop. I thought Dave would be proud. For a guy who was worried about the price of a single ketchup packet, I was sure he would be incredibly impressed about how I cut 1.5 seconds off the time it takes to scoop ice. To my surprise, Dave was not very happy. Dave would catch me and remind me to use your scoop. When you don't use a scoop, you tend to bend the cup's lip. Then the plastic lid doesn't fit on tightly as it should. When a customer takes a drink, it becomes the instant dribble glass. And Dave would get stuck with the dry cleaning bill. Dave didn't just care about the time and money, he cared about the quality and service. And he also helped me realize that it's just when you get tired of repeating something that the idea takes hold. He probably told me to use my scoop at least 100 times. Actually, now that I think about it, I would hear it when I wasn't even working. I would hear it when he wasn't even working. I'm not sure how he pulled that off. I don't know. Over time, he rubbed off on me. During my 4 years working for him, I had the opportunity to be involved with the opening of 2 more stores in the area. I attended university, hamburger style, and began developing my own leadership style. In my role at Disneyland, I worked with thousands of hardworking, intelligent, and talented people. Many of them have helped shape me in my career in ways I can't even fathom. But Dave Lerma truly holds a special place for what he gave to me, how he believed in me, and how he allowed me to grow as a leader and operator. I want to take a moment and thank Dave in person. He's here today, so please give him a round of applause. I didn't tell him. I just told him, hey, it'd be awesome if you could join me for lunch today. Along with the incredible from him. I learned the importance of doing the little things right, the value of 0.2 cents, and that you must stand for something to be great at what you do. Dave's scoop, his story, what he stood for was giving customers a great meal with great service every time they walked into his restaurant. I knew what he stood for, and I knew that as I became a leader, I needed to find my scoop. I was also fortunate to participate in the Disney College program for 2 semesters while I was a student here. 1 semester at Walt Disney World and the other at the Disneyland Resort. Those experiences, along with my time at McDonald's, helped me develop and strengthen my leadership skills, as well as propel me into a job as an assistant manager for food and beverage in Disneyland right after graduation. When I was hired, I was already familiar with the Disney culture from my experience in their college program, and thanks to McDonald's, I had plenty of experience running a busy kitchen and keeping up with hungry customers. But my new challenge was not so much about the kitchen or the guests, it was managing a much larger team. At Disney, I was now leading around 200 cast members. That was quite a jump from the team that I had here, but it is where I found my scoop. I found what I was good at. I learned very early on in my Disney career that I had a knack for identifying the natural talents of the members of my team, telling them about their gifts, and then giving them the chance to use them at every possible opportunity. I wanted to be known as a maximizer. I believe strongly that if you focused on maximizing your team's collective talents and understand the important components of what makes your business successful, you can succeed no matter what business you're in. Understanding your team's strengths, as well as your own, will make you a great leader, and in turn will make your team great. We are all different. Some of us love being part of a team. Some of us want to be individual contributors. Some of us love to teach. Others love to learn. Understanding those dynamics, along with listening closely to your team and your employees, will help you shape your organization. So how do you do that? Once you've decided what you want to be known for, you've got some work to do. Here's why. What you want to be known for is probably quite different from what you are known for. Spoiler alert. That's right. Everyone in this room is already known for something. Everyone wonder what that is? Think about it. Being self-aware is not really an easy thing to do. It takes a lot of reflection. It requires you to step outside yourself and seek to understand what behaviors you're currently demonstrating and how they either support or conflict with what you want to be. So my advice to you is to be a little compulsive. I personally think that the idea of being compulsive has gotten a pretty bad rap. And I'm guessing that it will be relatively infrequent that during future performance review, for instance, that you'll hear something like, you know what, you should be a little bit more compulsive. But I'm here to tell you that you should. I'll give you an example. You're in a shopping mall in Orange County. Know how to tell if there's a Disney cast member nearby? Look around. They will be the ones actually picking up trash in public. It's fun to watch. In fact, there are bloggers out there who have purposely, inside Disneyland, dropped trash to time how long it takes before being picked up by a cast member. Now that's compulsive behavior. In my role, I walk the parks a lot. And I will tell you that I physically twitch when I see trash and cannot help but steer towards it. I also cannot help but stop at every restaurant and food stand to say hello to the cast member. In my book, there's no direct road from point A to point B. I stop everywhere. And that means that I get the opportunity to learn that much more about the cast on my team. I am compulsive about it, and over the years, even when a cast member may not know me very well, if they're asked who I was, they often say, oh, he's that guy who always says hello, with a friendly smile, and asks me if I need anything. That's a start. That's my in. Because what I really want to know is what your superpower is. Pretty soon, I will find out. You can't hide it from me. Remember, maximize my team's collective output by listening to them, trying to put them in a position where they will be successful. I'm passionate about building teams and maximizing each person's potential. I put people where they're most happy, where their talents and passions align. I've found my scoop, my story, what I want to stand and what to be known for. And just how the great leaders who have passed along their talents and wisdom to me throughout the years, I hope to do the same in my career. Dave passes leadership on to me, and I make a point every day to pass my passion down to my team every chance that I get. Today I support hundreds of restaurant operations, over 15,000 cast members, with teams in 3 countries. And I know this won't be my last stop. My journey has been full of surprises, left turns, new challenges. I never made it to the mountain area. Instead, I did even better. I work at the happiest place on earth, creating happiness for millions of guests every year. This is my dream job. I just didn't know back when I was a kid. Enjoy your journey. Be open to new experiences. Take risks. Don't focus on the final destination. You have no idea where you're headed. So today, I'm going to challenge you to find your scoop. During your journey, what will you be known for? I want to thank Dr. Hill and Professor Oswaka, who, along with the scholarship committee, were quite compulsive in their efforts to ensure that I could be with you here today. To T. Paul Thomas, who has been the epitome of hospitality during my visit, would also like to extend a tremendous, tremendous, tremendous thank you to the sponsors who have made today's scholarships possible. And finally, congratulations to you, the honorees. I wish you the very best in your careers. Welcome to your industry. Well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. It's my privilege and honor now to introduce you to our extraordinary keynote speaker for this event. I had the privilege and honor of having Mr. Maggetti speak to my leadership classes yesterday, so I got to see his animated and real version of life at Disney, up close and personal. Mr. Maggetti will be speaking today on the subject of what's your scoop. I'm excited. I don't know what you're going to say. And I have some wonderful things to tell you about him before we begin. Since beginning his career with the Walt Disney Company as a Jungle Cruise skipper during the 1992 Fall College program at Walt Disney World, and I'm going to pause for just a moment. Maybe you can get to have him give you his spiel. He still remembers it. And he knows the jokes, too, that he had to tell. He has held 11 different roles in 18 years at the Disneyland Resort, including, but not limited to, restaurant manager, opening project team for Disney California Adventure, operations manager for food and beverage business solutions. He's also served as the director of Disneyland Hotels and Theme Parks, food and beverage director. In his capacity as general manager of food and beverage operations for Disneyland, Gary was responsible for overseeing all food service merchandise operations within Disney California Adventure Park, from signature fine dining table service and department stores to quick service food courts and vending.